Everybody ready for some Donruss baseball tonight? We are starting with a brand new case this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys, well, actually, I better wait. Everybody might not be in here yet, but normally when we start a new case and don't do the whole case at once, we take all the boxes out, number them on the end, use random.org to determine it, and all that sort of fun stuff. But tonight, since it's so many boxes, I'm going to let you guys help me decide which ones we're going to open, but we'll do that in a minute. I keep trying to pick this up. Like, I keep seeing whatever that is, a thread or something. I don't know. I think I got it that time, though. I digress. I know. It was bugging me, though. All right, so my feedback. It is automated on eBay. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get the same in return, thanks to the wonderful automation that eBay provides us. And of course, far more importantly, there is a big thank you. Always appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me here on this Friday night. This is what it looks like in the days ahead. So tomorrow night, Saturday and Sunday nights, both will be off nights. We'll come back on Monday night and be fairly busy with TriStar Game Day Greats autograph football jerseys by the full case, and a half case of Leaf Best Basketball, a half case of Leaf Ultimate Draft Football. Both of those Leaf products are going to be loose boxes from shared cases, meaning that I got half the case and the distributor sent the other half to somebody else. In the instance of Leaf Best Basketball, any redemption, which would be for signed memorabilia or sealed box of cards, sealed pack of cards, if we should pull a redemption, that is a separate bidding category, and it would go to that category. Of course, there's no guarantee we would pull it, as is the case with any break and anything you bid on in a break. And for the Leaf Ultimate Draft Football, the spots will be sold by the first letter of the last name, since this is a product where people haven't been drafted yet, right? On Tuesday night, we're going to open Impeccable Basketball, National Treasures Football, both by the full case. On Wednesday night, we're going to start back into Gypsy Queen. Even though that is break number 4, it will actually be the start of a new case. Normally, odd's the start and even is the end, but we started off, the breaks number 1 was a half case of loose boxes, so I know, it's all out of whack. But anyway, that's why I'm telling you now, in case you care about that sort of thing. So shipping-wise, right now, the way it sits, I'm hoping to have Donruss out the door and on the way to you Wednesday. It could possibly slide to Thursday. It could possibly go earlier on Tuesday, but my best estimate at the moment is Wednesday. Please keep in mind that with everybody under these stay-at-home orders, all of my mail is now done by, all my outgoing mail is now handled by pickup, and some days my carrier is off. And when I have somebody replacing my carrier, you never know if they're actually going to stop or not. So that can affect things. And also, sometimes my carrier comes really, really early, which also can affect things when they show up several hours early. And we don't have to worry about consolation cards here. Everybody will pull cards. There are about 800 million trillion cards in this product. All right, so what we are looking at now, it is a list of teams and the bidder user ID across from each team. And of course, everything that we are opening tonight ended tonight on eBay, which we're just opening the one thing, the half case of Donruss Baseball. And yeah, I forgot to check and see if everything is paid. I guess I better look at that in a minute. But for now, we'll continue scrolling here. It's kind of been one of those days, you know, so I don't think I remembered to check that. So let's see what our status is at the moment. Looks like it is just the Oakland A's and the St. Louis Cardinals that are unpaid. So let me take a look and see what we're looking at there. I'm going to go ahead and fix this here so that we all know what's what. So the A's and the Cardinals, if anybody felt so inclined as to want to pick them up, you can let me know now in chat. And if you don't, honestly, I don't know that I even care. It's just been one of those days. So if somebody wants them, cool. If nobody wants them, I'm just not even gonna concern myself with it. Now, the last little piece of business here, you're going to see the background is about to go out of focus. That is intentional. I don't want you to worry about that, though. We will be able to see everything we need to see actually up close and personal, a little better than we would have been able to otherwise. Now, for those of you who happen to be in chat and are open to helping me, we need to decide which half of this case to open. So what we're looking at here is left side or right side. I need 3 people, at least 3 people, to type it in. And I'm going to take the first 3 responses, the majority from the first 3 responses that pop up on my screen. I have been told sometimes it pops up differently on your screen than it does on mine. But so the first 3 I see on my side. All right, so Ron, you had said you were interested first. And behind that, Mike had said he wanted both. Ron, did you want, usually the way we do this is if somebody wants both, when we have both, I give that person preference, and then we would sort them out into individual teams. So Ron, were you interested in both, or are we good with Mike having both? But Ron popped in first, so I want to give him every opportunity there. And if you did only want one, you would have to, well, I guess technically we could split it between you and Mike or something. But generally, I don't think I said it this time, but generally we do preference to somebody who wants them both. So jump in there and let me know on that. Oh, the cost. I didn't tell you the cost, did I? Because I didn't look it up, did I? Sorry. So the A's, guys, looks like I can't even read that. Hang on a second. Okay, it looks like the A's went for $26. The Cardinals had gone for $13.50. So together they're $39.50. So we may as well say $39 if you wanted them both. Otherwise, $26 and $13. I forgot to tell you guys the price, didn't I? I'm so sorry. Betsy, I do see you in there, but Ron was in there first. So I was trying to check in with him, and then Mike had said he wanted both. And generally in cases like this, we go, if somebody wants them both, we give that person preference, and then if not, we sell them out individually. So Mike does want them both, okay? And Ron, if you only wanted the Cardinals, then with Mike wanting them both, Ron, provided you're cool with that, that's probably the route we're going to go, would be with Mike having them both. But let me know, Ron, if you're okay with that or not, and then we'll sort it from there. Meanwhile, it looks like Jay Allen's gone left side of the case. Mike actually came in first with left, Jay Allen left, and Tim said right. But our first 3 went left, left, right, which means we are opening the left, we're opening the whole case, but we're going to break the left side of the case right now. Well, Betsy, again, that's what I was saying about you're thinking yours may have shown up first on your side, but I, of course, can only go with how the messages show up on my side. I tried to make that point a minute ago, and maybe I didn't make it very well when I first announced that sometimes you may see it in a different order on your own page, particularly something you've typed in. It comes in a different order from the way that I see it. So the way it came into me was Ron said interested, you said you would do the A's, and Mike said he would do both. So that's what I was trying to explain about what I meant by it being in order, for instance. In the order that I see it, I guess I should have said. I did try to explain that, but I guess I probably botched it. So I don't know. But I am, what have I got out here? Have I got 8 out here? Wait a minute. Oh, crap. That means I accidentally took one off the right-hand side, and I bet you it was the second one because I was autopiloting it. So we'll put that one back, and now we've got 8 and 8. It's really been a bad day. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not quite in my groove tonight. All right, so let me see. How did we end up down here then? Okay, so Mike says he'll do whatever. He'll take the A's or he'll take them both. He'll do whatever. So, Ron, what do you want to do here? Mike is being okay with it going either way. So if you only want the Cardinals, Ron, then we'll break it up that way. But somebody, can you guys kind of let me know, whichever one of you, however, however you all want to do it. And then I need to cancel it out here on eBay, and then I'll need to update the spreadsheet and get all that part done too. So let me get back in here to cancel it out first. Okay, so Ron, you want the Cardinals, and Mike says he's fine just doing the A's. He doesn't have to have them both. And normally I would have announced preference goes to somebody who takes both, but since I didn't do that tonight, we're gonna sort it out this way. I appreciate your all's patience. It's I'm not quite myself tonight, so I apologize for that. All right, so Ron, you are going to have the Cardinals, and Mike, you have got the A's. The A's at 13, and the Cardinals were at 26, right? I believe that's right. I just typed in the email address, so if each of you, or actually it's opposite. The Cardinals were 13, the A's were 26. So if each of you want to send over the money to that email address that you see there on the screen, that would be great. I'm going to get the spreadsheet caught up, and I also need to get this order canceled out on eBay. Okay. Oh, Tim, thank you. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I've got a family member that we were notified earlier today is going to be passing here in the next 24 hours or so, and of course, none of us can get there, and none of us can go see him or be there or anything. So it's just been, kind of one of those days. I'm just not really myself tonight. So again, I apologize for that, guys. I'm just out of sorts a little bit. All right, so let's get this done. Canceled out on here and carried over to the two of you. And I think I finally did say that right, didn't I? That the Cardinals were 13 and the A's were 26. I think I did. I hope I did. I think you guys know more about what you're doing right now than I do, I think, for sure. All right, so Mike has got the A's. Let me plug that in. Second goes to Mike Austin. And Ron has got the Cardinals. Okay, now at last. I know, I appreciate you all hanging in there with me. It's not usually quite this bad. I think hopefully most of you have been here before. You know it's not usually like this. At any rate, here we go. There's your updated spreadsheet. Now reflects that the A's are with Mike and the Cardinals are with Ron. And the two of you, you've got your PayPal info there. So if you wouldn't mind just giving me the heads up when you have your PayPal squared away, I would appreciate that. I'm going to get a few little sleeves out of the bag here, and we are at last going to actually rip into something. I know. I delayed us a long time to get those two teams done, didn't we? I know. But we're going to get them done, and we're going to make it worth your while, right? Because we're going to hit something awesome. That's how I'm thinking. Oh, Mike says, how do you pay? Mike, you know how to use PayPal to use the send money feature of PayPal? That's what you do. So you log into PayPal, and then you go under, I think it's under activity, and then you hit send money or something to that effect, and you send it to the email address that I typed in before, which I will type in again now. You just only need to enter the amount and then hit, go or send or whatever it tells you there. So let me know if that works it through. I can't actually do a bill for you right now. I'm not logged in there to do all of that. And since, unfortunately, I've already got you guys held up here about 15 minutes trying to do this, are you not able to log in and do it as a send money, Mike? So we are looking for 3 autographs or memorabilia cards here in each box. And there are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of base cards. Way more than anybody wants to look at, but we're going to have to look at them anyway because they're in here, and that's part of the deal. There are lots of parallels, some of them numbered, some of them not. The ones that are lower numbered we'll stop and talk about. The ones that are higher numbered, like all this stuff to $3.99 and $9.99, $6.99 and all that stuff, we really won't spend any time on, just the lower numbered things. And then obviously we will stop and look at our hits. There are lots of parallels in here. There are almost as many parallels as there are base cards. So we don't stop again and talk about all that stuff either, unless it is a hit or a low numbered kind of card. And by low numbered, I mean something, say 99 or less, not the really high numbered stuff. So that will help us keep things flowing a little more smoothly, I guess is the way to say it. And even doing it that way, we're still probably going to be about an hour and a half breaking this, because it's just a tremendous amount of cards, really. Ron, thank you for squaring that away. I appreciate it. And Mike, you are working on it from your side. Okay, cool. And Jay Allen says he needs the Phillies and the Padres, the Pirates, the Indians, and the Diamondbacks. All right, Jay Allen is loaded for bear tonight. He's got a bunch of teams to find in here. And I'm sure we will have, well, we'll definitely have cards for all of them because all the cards ship from this break. It's an incredibly awful break to sort. It is awful. It takes so long. Probably by the time it's sorted and actually ready to ship, well over 8 hours, I would say. It's just dreadful. I do not look forward to this. I don't mind the breaking it. I look forward to the breaking it. I don't look forward to the sorting of it. That's the deal. Mike, you had the A's, right? So the A's were $26. And that would get you all squared away. Okay, we are underway at last. All right, so once again, we are going to kind of cut a path through most of this stuff. We'll see a lot of hollow foils. Some may be numbered, some may not. The high numbered stuff we will not be dwelling on, but if we do find a low numbered one, of course, we'll stop and take a better look. Like this is obviously an example of a hollow foil parallel, and we're stopping and looking at it right now because it's the first one we've seen. But where you see over there that it's numbered to 500, normally you're going to see that go by, and I'm not going to stop and talk about the fact that it's numbered to 500 because, well, that's a really high numbering. And so most of us probably are like, we know it's to 500 is not what most of us are probably looking for, so we won't necessarily dwell on those going forward. I might just flip them so you can see the numbering on them, flip them down the side, and then something like that is what we usually do. So that way, if you want to read it, you can. And if you don't want to hear me calling out weirdo high numbers every 5 seconds, you don't have to. See, it's good compromise, right? That's what I think. All right. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. So you are all done with your PayPal endeavor there. So I appreciate you. And Ron picking some teams up there. So I forgot to talk about this. This is USA Baseball. And on the front, we have a prospect. On the back, we have generally a current player. This happens to be a veteran retired player, but generally it's current player. So we're going to set all those that we find like that up there into the area that I call housekeeping. Then at the end of the night, we will determine whether those go to the prospect side of the card or the veteran side of it. We're just going to call them veterans, whether they're retired or active, or the veteran side of the card. And should it end up going to the prospect side of the card, then of course we would also end up using random to, it's up there at the top, I couldn't find it, to $9.99. We'll also would use random to award it to one team, since prospects are mostly, these guys are not associated with teams. If, of course, it came up to the veteran side, it would just go to the team that is represented by the veteran player on the back. So the Texas Rangers, there is Nick Solak for the Rangers with autograph number 1. Remember, we're looking for 3 hits per box. They can be autographs, they can be memorabilia, they can be a mixture of the two. So we never kind of know what we're going to find. We just have to keep looking. Well, I had it right the first time, didn't I? Looks like that was numbered to 86, I think it said. The other thing I should make you aware of is we are probably going to find cards that have that hollow foil coating on them in here, where the hollow foil has started separating from the paper. That, unfortunately, is a somewhat regular occurrence, but this year it has happened with way more regularity than maybe in some past years. We've always seen it happen little bits here and there, but for whatever reason this year it really seems to be a lot more prevalent in here. And I did not see an update from Panini with their release calendar. So as it stands right now, they still have a ton of releases set to come out April 15th. I do expect, though, that they are probably going to move some, if not all of those. I did see an updated calendar came through from Topps. I looked at it right before we went live. And it looked to me like they are keeping Tribute Baseball coming out next Friday, which is April the 10th. That's the $249 for the Bo Bichette. But then everything else beyond that, I just glanced at it, but how it looked to me is that everything beyond Tribute Baseball from Topps has a to be determined date on it. So everything that had been scheduled for the rest of April, even into May, it all just now says TBD, to be determined, from Topps. Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers, a little belly. That is a nice one for Los Angeles on the classified card set that happens to be one of my favorite autograph card sets in here. I think it's a really nice looking card. I don't know why it particularly appeals to me, but I guess just because it's different, right? It looks a little different than what we're used to. This one happens to be numbered to 100. We're going to call that low numbered for the purposes of this product anyway. And it is John Means for the Baltimore Orioles. And that, of course, just showing you the front and back of our little blank spacer cards in there. Our third hit, it held out to almost the end, and it is Giancarlo Stanton for the Yankees with a relic. So we got 2 autographs and a relic out of box number 1. I can live with that, right? That's not too bad. It's not too shabby. That's what I think. Yeah, JL, and I'm looking forward to Tribute as well. I was a little surprised to see that they kept the release date. Truthfully, I expected when I opened the calendar to see that everything had moved or was saying TBD, but it didn't. It still showed Tribute as that date. However, there was a note at the top of the sheet that said, that my distributor wrote, that said that they can't guarantee release date delivery because, I don't know, places moving slowly, and I guess FedEx and UPS, neither of them are currently guaranteeing their delivery dates, I assume because they're overwhelmed with the amount of online shopping that's going on while we're all I start to say incarcerated at home. It's not really exactly incarcerated, is it? But while we're all sheltering in place, everybody's ordering online. So I think FedEx and UPS are really getting busted up pretty good in terms of their volume, and obviously they weren't weren't staffed up for a high volume like they would be at the holidays. So that's the little note the distributor added, is that they can't guarantee we'll actually get things on release day. They're going to try, but they can't promise. So that ought to be interesting too, right? I don't know. We'll see. Mike, yes, all the cards in this break ship. So as I was running through all that stuff at the top, I meant to say that. And if I didn't, I apologize. But yeah, all the cards do ship out of here. And that's one reason that it doesn't ship out very quickly, because it's an extremely long break to sort and prepare for shipment. There's an incredible number of cards that have to be dealt with in this particular product. Brock Star is here. Hi, Brock Star. You have the Dodgers. You know the Dodgers have been hitting like crazy this week, haven't they, guys? And Gypsy Queen, and now we've hit a Dodger already in here. I mean, it has been a Dodgers kind of week, hasn't it? Definitely, I think we've had an inordinate amount of Dodgers and Gypsy Queen the other night, and then they hit again in the second half of the case too. So somebody, when they were putting that case together, they were Dodgers all the way. So that's numbered to 25 for the White Sox with Jose Abreu. You can also see some of these hollow foils have some imperfect edges and corners. You can usually tell, like we could on that one, the way the light hits it can show you sometimes that there's just a minor little bend or edge or corner issue of some sort. It often will reveal itself, if you will, by just simply the way the light hits it on the hollow foils. We have Brendan McKay for the Tampa Bay Rays. That's exactly what Mike said. How about hitting him some Rays and some A's? Well, right there is a Tampa Bay Ray for you, and a pretty good one in my estimation. Brendan McKay autograph. I expect big things from that kid. He played college ball in this area and looked pretty good. Of course, he's been a two-way player, but I'm sure they're getting ready to peg him, I would imagine, just as a pitcher. I don't think they're going to probably let him attempt to two-way it like Shohei did. I don't think they're going to let McKay do that. I mean, they have let him play around with it up to this point, but once he comes up for good, I expect that they're going to make him a pitcher only, which is all right, too, because he's quite good, in my opinion. So, oh, wait a minute. Who we got? Oh, yeah, okay, because Noah Song, we know where he is associated with. There for a minute, I was like, oh, my gosh, there are prospects on both sides. No, Noah Song's a Red Sox, so we're all right on that one, too. Pollen, it's killing me. I had to go outside today for a little bit. They decided to redo the roof. Which the roof was an optional thing, right? Like, it didn't have to be done right now. And so I, of course, stupidly thought, well, they're going to delay doing the roof. They're not going to show up and do the roof. Like, everything is shut down. So why would I think they're going to show up and do the roof? Huh. Because it wasn't like there was a leak or anything. It was just a planned in advance roofing that I did not think anybody would do. But guess what? They did show up and do it and destroyed everything in the process. Oh, yeah. Destroyed my whole backyard, destroyed all my plants, all of our garden border, broke branches off our trees. It was horrible. The Texas Rangers and Brock Burke. So I had to spend some time outside trying to help clean that up really quickly before it got dark, because the yard was full of nails and screws and things that I felt like I needed to try to get out of there. That one was to 150. So I did spend some time out there trying to get that done real quickly, help get that done anyway. And it really just blew up my allergies. No more time than I was out there. It was kind of crazy. So, yeah. I feel like I'm just in the middle of one big pollen bloom, even though I'm in the house. It's just, I don't know, that stuff gets on you and stays there, doesn't it? You have to have a blowtorch to get it off. Kris Bryant for the Cubbies comes out next, and we have a relic there for the Cubbies and Kris Bryant. And what do we have there? That one is to 120. So not super low numbered, but not as high numbered as some of the other things we've been seeing anyway. This product has a lot of inserts. Numbered to 19, so that's a very low number for the White Sox and Lucas Giolito. Of course, White Sox had the other Abreu, I think it was, to 25, a box or two back. So the White Sox are hitting all the low-numbered ones tonight, aren't they? Betsy might have the White Sox. She does a lot of times. Jay Allen, you're heading out of here. You said you see a bunch of duplicate teams. Your blood pressure might shoot up. I understand that, my friend. I do. Well, go get yourself some rest, and we'll do our work for you, or for you. We'll try to do your work for you with the mojo. I'll get it out in a minute. We'll try to hit your teams. For the Houston Astros, a little contenders card. Those are not numbered or anything, but generally speaking, we're pulling out maybe a couple of case, something in that neighborhood. 2, 3, 4 case. Of course, we're opening half case tonight, but at any rate, they're not numbered, but they're not incredibly abundant. So, for whatever that's worth, I guess. All right, Betsy, that is your one team tonight. All right. Very good. Well, we've at least got you a couple of decent low numbered cards, and we will absolutely try to work on getting your Robert to come out tonight too. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would make things quite a bit better, wouldn't it, if we could hit that? We are going to try, that's for sure. Yes, I was totally surprised. I don't know why those, I guess, I don't know, roofing crews, I suppose, are exempt from the don't leave your house order. But I really would have thought that it would have only been for emergency roofing. I was very shocked that elective roofing, that they showed up to do elective roofing. But there were a lot of them, but it still took them a very long time. And they really did destroy just about everything. They broke some ceramic planter, and they broke some other stuff, and they just flat out destroyed a bunch of plants. I mean, they were horrible. I would go out and they would have this little generator thing sitting literally on top of a plant, when 1 inch in front of it or 1 inch to the other side of it would have been somewhere they could have set it that was free and clear, like open yard or sidewalk or whatever. So 4 times I had to tell them. Every time I would tell them, and I would move it, and I would go back out there, or somebody else would go back out there, and there it would be, setting in the exact same spot right on top of the plant. 4 times. So yeah, they effectively killed that. And then they said to me, well, it grows back. Oh, okay. Well, maybe, next year it was blooming right now for the one time it blooms this year. So thank you for effectively stomping it into the ground and killing it. Ah, well, what are you going to do? Not much, apparently. Not much at all. And then I'm not even sure they finished it. I don't even think they did it right. I went out once and there were tiles hanging off the edge that hadn't been trimmed. And I'm like, are you gonna, and they had already moved on to a whole other section of the roof. And I'm like, are you guys gonna maybe fix this? Are you gonna trim this? What are you gonna do with this? Oh, well, yeah. We'll get that done. Oh, okay. Mondesi for the Kansas City Royals. Classics is our card set. I don't think we've seen that one before. As a signature card set, anyway, that I remember seeing. So the Royals got one there with Mondesi. Nice little autograph hit. Tony Gwynn and the San Diego Padres. A relic. I can't believe how quiet it is, too. I mean, I guess everybody's like that now, but there's just so little traffic going up and down the streets. You very seldom hear anything. It's numbered to 75, Nolan Ryan. I should note what team he's on. Sorry, Houston Astros, since he played for many teams on that particular card. It was for the Astros. You guys probably, especially Jay Allen, because he listens with headphones on, can normally hear all the traffic that goes by out front. And there's, a decent amount of it normally. And it's just like ghost town USA out there now. Which is, of course, what we need if we ever want to have this stupid thing over with and get back to normal. We've all got to do our part and stay in for a while, I guess. Right when the weather turns nice. Like, daggone it. You never want to do it, but somehow if you had to do it, it seems like it would have been better to have to do it in the winter, doesn't it? Sort of, kind of, not really, maybe. It's no good time to do it, obviously, but you know what I mean. And what do we have there? J.D. Martinez for the Red Sox, and it is numbered to 105. We'll call that, again, close enough to low numbered, at least for this product. It's considered low numbered. It might not be for some other products, but for this one, we're going to call it that. I think that works all right. Jay Allen said I should send him a bill for the damage. Yeah, they wouldn't pay it. I mean, the owner of the company was just a real a-hole. So, yeah, they're not gonna cover anything. I mean, they damaged the gutter and in several places too. I mean, they were really horrible, just absolutely horrible. In fact, I feel as though I may go write a Yelp review at some point, which I very seldom do. I've maybe written maybe 5 Yelp reviews ever. And mostly they're good. I think maybe one bad one I wrote, and the rest have been good. So something either has to be really, really good or really, really bad for me to want to go post on Yelp. So I kind of want to post on Yelp about this, but I also recognize the fact that the other stuff that's going on with my family, which is probably impacting how I feel about it as well. So I'm not doing it right away. I'm going to wait and see if I still feel completely like I want to blast off on them in another few days. And if I do, then I might go post Yelp. But I'm trying not to do that right now because I recognize I have some other stressors today that probably impact the way I view it. That looked like it should be lower numbered, didn't it? But it was also to 999, but it had that look, right? It had that kind of, ooh, I'm a low numbered expensive card look to it. But clearly, it was not that low numbered. You said there's a moron that woke you up at what time in the morning? 3 a.m., burning out down the road. Well, this is Kentucky, right? So it seems like anytime somebody's doing something dumb in the national news, aren't they always from Kentucky? That's how I feel about it. It's just always like the doctor who they had to carry screaming off the United flight back, I don't know, by now 6 or 9 months ago. He was from Kentucky. It's just the guy who recently left something he needed in his carry-on bag and his checked baggage and didn't want to take the flight without being able to get it, so claimed that he had coronavirus and made the plane turn around and everybody had to disembark. He got arrested and all that. It's always somebody from Kentucky that's doing something dumb, it seems like. So anyway, I'm telling you that as a preface as to what comes next. So since we've been having our lockdown in place, which they call it healthy at home here, but it is essentially a lockdown, same as anywhere else. There have been some idiots that go into Louisville, which is one of the bigger cities, probably the largest city in our state is Louisville, home of the Kentucky Derby and Louisville Slugger, Bat Factory, and many other cool things. But they go downtown into Louisville and drag race at night. Yeah, that's what they've been doing since the lockdown, because there's no traffic, nobody out. So they go onto the streets and drag race. And they've been doing it now for several weekends in a row, I believe. And so now the mayor of Louisville has said that he's going to start having law enforcement confiscate their vehicles if he catches them doing it. But I'm like, why is it always people from Kentucky that are doing dumb stuff that makes the national news? I don't know. And there are lots of other people doing dumb stuff from other states too, and it's probably just I notice the ones from Kentucky more. But I always am like, oh, come on, guys. Why can't you be from Ohio when you do that? Oh, Mike, you're in Kentucky. Cool. You're from Florida, but in Kentucky. What part of Kentucky are you in? Oh, Jay Allen, you think the people that woke you up were drag racing too? Yeah, I guess people figure, well, the streets are empty, instead of staying home, let's go drag race. I don't know. I don't know what goes through people's heads. Personally, I have no desire to catch it. I don't really want to catch it. I don't want to have my whole family catch it. I don't want to have my whole family wiped out by it. I just don't want any part of it. So I'm not going to be the one out there doing something dumb if I can help it. Numbered to 100, that is the Texas Rangers and Lance Lynn. And the funny thing is, I don't know if this has happened to any of you all or not, but as I watch television now, I sometimes catch myself when I'm watching a show and I'll think, oh, they're standing too close together. As if social distancing applied to the television show. Because all this has been taped ages ago. But have you done that? Am I the only one that's done that? I probably shouldn't even admit it. See, there's somebody from Kentucky admitting something dumb. That would be me telling you that. But it's true. I do. I have several times caught myself watching television thinking, oh, you're too close together. Why are they standing so close together? So I guess they have at least, if nothing else, successfully drilled it into our heads that we should not be standing so close together. Who knows? Who knows? But hopefully we're going to get baseball back somewhere along the way this year. I think we talked about this a little bit the night before, but I believe that the Players Union has agreed that they would play as late as Thanksgiving. So they would be willing to be doing, and by play, I mean, playoffs, World Series, that kind of stuff. They would be willing to do that as late as into Thanksgiving. So if they could get any kind of shortened season even in, and then still have time to do that, that would be kind of fun. That's numbered to 100. Willie Calhoun for the Rangers. Because then, what would you do on Thanksgiving? We would be torn between, do we watch football or do we watch baseball? It would be a first. Do we watch the World Series or do we watch some NFL game? I don't know. There'll be some infighting over television time too, I bet. Mike, you're in Owensboro. Okay. How are things down in Owensboro? Are you all having much impact down there in regard to cases or problems or anybody doing anything dumb down in Owensboro? Numbered to 10, it is Brian Anderson for the Miami Marlins with a press proof that was. Betsy says Lions versus Bears in the World Series. Right? I mean, it could happen. It could happen. I think it would be interesting to see who would be televised where if we ended up with baseball overrunning and then and hitting into football territory. Because you would also be getting ready to gear up for college basketball, at least preseason games. Oh, I put him in there upside down. Daggone it. Ozzy for the Braves with a relic. So you could potentially have all those overlapping. And they canceled Wimbledon earlier in the week. I mean, you knew it was coming because they said they were going to, but they just hadn't announced it yet. So I knew it was coming, but still, I hated that so much. I'm like, not Wimbledon. They're probably going to get the U.S. Open next. It's like, no, not all my tennis. All right, this is Rafael Corrales Palmeiro. And it is a numbered to 5, and this is obviously, guys, a buyback. Clearly, we know, first of all, this guy's been retired forever. Secondly, this is an original Donruss 1987 card. It's just been updated with the stamp on it. You can tell from the edges and corners. It's been loved a little. It's not in horrible shape, but it definitely has some chipping and things and a little rounding on some of the edges and corners. But nonetheless, it's a pretty cool little hit there. So a buyback autograph for the Cubbies from an original 1987 Donruss card. How about that? We're having fun now, aren't we? That Mike Trout was to 149. Mike, you have 53 cases the last you saw in Owensboro. Yeah, so that's a pretty good little number down in your part, too. Jay Allen, you only have 1 in your town. Wow. You guys are definitely following the rules then, aren't you? Probably one of the few places in the country that just has 1. A contenders insert for the Boston Red Sox with the big fathead guys, fathead contenders card. Well, I mean, not that the guys in real life have a fat head, but the the illustration on there is a fat head illustration, just to be clear. Not trying to insult anybody's head size. Not today, anyway. The Arizona Diamondbacks and Zach Gallen. I do believe that is one that Jay Allen has, the Diamondbacks, I think. So that will be headed his way. Oh, Eric, you're in New York. Oh, yeah, it is everywhere there. You're not wrong about that. I had a really good friend of mine, in fact, one of my best friends, had been living in New York for the last couple of years, had moved, well, last year and a half maybe, had moved there from LA. And she just had moved to Atlanta for work maybe 2 months, maybe not even 2 months, before the first of this started. Not, when it was still out in Seattle and that sort of thing. And man, I was so grateful that she had gotten out of there because she has animals and she was in an apartment and it just would have been awful to try to deal with it. And now when she went to Atlanta, she rented a house down there. So, and She has a friend down there with her as well, who ironically had also been in New York and decided to come down and see her and spend some time with her. And then all that happened, so he's hanging out down there too. So it worked out really well in that regard. I was grateful. But yeah, the New York has been hit pretty hard for sure. Mike, you need an Oakland A's hit. All right, let's try to find you the A's since you were kind enough to pick them up. We need to see if the mojo will get you repaid for that one. J. Allen, you said there goes a truck. I didn't even notice anything go by. I didn't even hear it. I told you guys, J. Allen, he's good at hearing what goes on because he's got the headphones on. Sometimes I hear stuff go by when I'm doing breaks, if it's really loud or if it's the dumb neighbor with his dumb motorcycle that he likes to start and just let it sit there and idle with no muffler for about 10 minutes before he drives away. But other than that, a lot of times I don't even notice it. And Mike, yeah, I see J. Allen answered your question there, but yep, that's exactly where I am in Kentucky, the home of Keeneland. No Keeneland this year, of course, but, well, maybe in October, I guess we'll get our October meet, but no April meet, that's for sure. Probably saves me some money anyway, I guess, with nobody running in April. And definitely saves me some money in May with the Derby being moved to September. That's going to be so weird. Having the Kentucky Derby in September. I know, it's going to be strange. Of course, a lot of you may not be horse racing fans, so do you? You're like, what difference does it make? It's just that it's always the first Saturday in May. I think the only time it hasn't been since the Kentucky Derby has been a thing, which is was started back in the 1800s, the late 1800s, was during one of the wars. I believe they missed one or two Kentucky Derbies, but other than that, it has been the first Saturday in May pretty much forever. Here you go, Betsy. We've got an autograph for your White Sox with a little Dylan Cease. So it's not exactly the guy you were looking for, but hey, it's got you on the board. Got you on the map anyway. And here comes one for the Rangers. Jonathan Hernandez comes out for the Texas Rangers. So, yeah, it's going to be, I guess I should just be glad that they rescheduled the Kentucky Derby. So many of the sporting events, when they were canceled, they didn't even reschedule them. Acuna, which at the time, thinking back to the first part of March when they were canceling March Madness, weren't we all thinking, well, can't they just postpone that? Couldn't they just do that like slightly bit later? I mean, before they let out school for the year, couldn't they still do that? Yeah, doesn't that seem now like it was about a year ago? Number 2/100, Detroit Tigers and Miguel Cabrera. So now the sporting news we get's always kind of weird. Like one of the headlines was about Ed Ogeron divorcing his wife of 20 however many years. That is numbered to 75, Buster Posey and the Giants. So it's like, oh, all right. That's my sports headline for the day. Ed Ogeron and his wife are getting divorced. Of course, my sports headline for yesterday was Tom Brady moving into Derek Jeter's mansion. So he can go play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they continue to give us news. It's just of a different variety, I guess. Is that not numbered? Where would the numbering be? I guess that's not numbered on that Brendan McKay. I thought it should be. Oh, it is. See? They move it around on you. No wonder nobody can find it. Or by nobody, I mean me. Clearly, I mean me. But sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom, sometimes it's on the side. I mean, come on. Give us the numbering in the same place every time, so people like me can find it faster, right? That's all I'm saying. Oh, hey, here's a thing. If you don't know this already, HBO is letting people watch a lot of their stuff, a lot of their prior series and things for free all the way through the month of April. So if you don't have HBO already, I mean, if you already have it, it doesn't matter to you. But if you don't have it and you want to watch some HBO shows while you're in the house, it says that you can just download the app, which is HBO Go, I think, or HBO Now. It might be called HBO Now. We have HBO, so I think because we have it, it's called Go. But if you don't, I think it's called HBO Now. Anyway, you'll find it. And if you want it, you can download that app and then watch a bunch of different shows on there. I think The Wire might have been one of them, and Veep, maybe Sopranos, but I wouldn't swear to that. I don't know. There were a bunch, and some movies too. So if you're looking for something to do and you don't ordinarily have HBO, you can always do that. Mike Piazza for the Dodgers with a relic. Looks like a piece of the baseball bat. Tim said an Acuna is just an Acuna, wasn't just an Acuna insert that went by. Which one are you talking about? I've probably read off his name a bunch of different times, but which, I mean, was it really recently? I can try to find it if it was. I honestly don't remember what it was. How far back was it? I'm trying to look at the numbered stuff and see if I see it. But there's so much stuff in here. I am looking. Now, I don't set all the numbered stuff aside, just some of the somewhat lower numbered stuff. So offhand, I'm not seeing it, but I'm still looking. Still looking. Oh, there. Is that the one you were talking about? It's numbered to 249. Maybe that was it. If that wasn't it, let me know. But I think that was it. Oh, in the USA stack. Oh, I just laid him in the wrong place. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I would have caught that when we got up to do that when we got up to do that for random, I would have caught that. But thank you, yes, for catching that now. I appreciate it. We always look through those either right before or right after I do the random so that everybody knows which cards are in play and where they end up going and all that sort of stuff. So at some point I would have seen that and been like, oh, that was dumb. Why did I stack that up there? But instead you caught it for me. So thank you. Thank you very much. That way we fixed it. We fixed it on the fly. Has anybody been watching the sports calls that, I guess it's Buck that's been doing them? The sports announcer for Fox. I think he works for Fox, doesn't he? And so he's been taking people's videos, their regular home videos or whatever that they post into YouTube, and then he does a play-by-play of them. Oh, it's very funny. He's got some really good ones on there. It's all on his Twitter account. And if you have not checked any of those out, you really should, because some of them are better than others, but some of them are just perfect. They're so funny. I mean, it can be anything from dogs playing to a guy checking his hair in the mirror. It doesn't really even matter what it is. He will just take the video and do his play-by-play and post it on his Twitter feed. I've had quite a lot of fun looking through and listening to a bunch of those. I'm sure some of you have already done it, but If you haven't, that's another good way to pass some time when you're at home. Eric, you are looking for a Mets hit. All right, we will try to find you some Mets. Maybe we can find a polar bear. We've been pulling Alonso a lot lately out of Gypsy Queen and things. Maybe we can find him in here tonight. We shall try our best, anyway. See what the mojo will deliver to us. That is so weird. What is going on right now? I looked over and my iPad is doing some weirdness. I don't know what. Oy, it's got a mind of its own, clearly. I don't know, it sporadically played some commercial, but I didn't hit anything, so I don't know what that was. Cubbies, Owlsley with an autograph hit. So we see one of our hits out very early. Oh, I bet I see what happened. Okay. Now my iPad's back on the page it should be on. Like me, it wanders off occasionally. Number 2/100 for my Cincinnati Reds, it's Trevor Bauer. I would say maybe we'd find Ken Griffey in here, but there are only 2 of them in the whole product, and we already pulled one of them. So I don't know if we'll find the other Ken Griffey in here, but we have been on a bit of a Ken Griffey kick lately. I've been finding him in things pretty often last little bit, few weeks anyway. So it surely would be nice if we could find him again too. You know, being a Reds fan, I'm going to love Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. All right, Houston Astros, Brian Abreu. These guys are happy that the season didn't start on time, the Astros. And now they're just hoping that by the time the season does start, everybody has forgotten about their cheating scandal and won't make their lives a living you-know-what when they're on the road. Numbered to 75 for the Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr. Because they were going to have a very rough road year. I don't think there's anybody anywhere who wouldn't say that. They were going to get absolutely roasted everywhere they went. So they're like, yeah, keep the season really short. Really, really short. Bo Bichette, but it was to $9.99. Look at that. We did hit a Ken Griffey Jr. This is going to be a relic and not an autograph. But isn't that funny? I told you we've been hitting a lot of Ken Griffey Jr. stuff in the last few weeks. And here's a Ken Griffey Jr. relic. Right? I mean, come on. You know that's weird, right? Because you could go months without hitting anything Ken Griffey Jr. And then in the last few weeks, we've hit 2 autographs, a 1 of 1 and a 1 of 2, just in the last couple of weeks. And then a few weeks before that, we hit a Ken Griffey autographed baseball bat in one of the memorabilia breaks. And then right as I was talking about him tonight, there he came for a relic. I'm telling you, the man is following me right now. Well, his card is. He's not. We definitely go through little streaks like that where it seems you have one certain player that you just kind of pull all the time out of everything. And then it might be a long, long time before you pull them again. Numbered to 50, Joey Votto in the Reds. But I've had it happen before in little weird streaks like that with Kobe Bryant in basketball, for one. And, of course, R.I.P. to Kobe. We won't probably be having that happen again, but in the past, that he's been one that would show up. And Mike Trout was another one that happened with a couple years back. He was coming out of everything, even including stuff like Heritage High Number and stuff you would not really expect to find a Mike Trout because there are hardly any in there and we'd be hitting it. It was crazy. And so this moment in time, it seems to be a Ken Griffey Jr. kind of stretch, which is okay by me because I like the guy. So, and it was kind of cool that one was for the Reds too, because most of the time when you pull Ken Griffey Jr. stuff, it's mostly going to be the Mariners. And occasionally you get a Cincinnati Red like that one. So the Reds are the team that I root for, so always especially happy to see him when he comes out as a Red. Mike says talk about some A's. Oh, Mike, you know where we've been hitting just almost an unbelievable amount of Oakland A's? Inception. Have you done any Inception breaks? We have done, I don't know, 3-4 cases of it. Not an extraordinary amount, but a reasonable amount. And that product has been packed with Oakland A's, I think every time we've broken it. And they've been the Silver Signings case hit for at least 2 of the cases we opened, and maybe more than 2. They've just been coming out of Inception in crazy amounts. Like, the A's might get 3 or 4 hits in one case of Inception, where other teams get 1 or none, or just get base cards or something. But the A's have been burning it up in Inception. So for what that's worth, if you haven't done any Inception breaks, you might check them out for that. For if you're just an A's fan looking for any kind of Oakland A's stuff, they seem to be heavily populated there. We have some more Inception here that we'll be working in somewhere along the way, but it probably won't be until Thursday or Friday of next week. Since Tribute's coming out Friday, maybe we'll do it Thursday. We'll try to throw in Inception and something football related, both maybe paired up on Thursday. See how that shakes out. Oh, you're a fan of the Rays? Okay. So not so much for the A's. You just want the A's because you picked them up in here on the second chance. Well, that makes sense. But sometimes people pick them up as the second chance because they really are fans of the team. So I didn't know. But if you were, or whoever it might be, chasing the Oakland A's and you just want any and every Oakland A that you can hit, well, Inception seems to be the place to be for them this year. And of course, as soon as I say that, like the very next break, we'll see something different happen. But somehow I doubt it. If you were to go back and watch the first few breaks we've done, cases of Inception, you'll see what I mean about how many Oakland A's are in there. Because it's a lot. All right, well, there is a little Eloy Jimenez for Betsy's Chicago White Sox. It was numbered to 50. So the White Sox continue to rack up the low-numbered parallels tonight for Betsy. But yeah, I don't know why there are so many A's in Inception. Well, I mean, you kind of do in the sense that they've got a lot of rookies this year in the class. But even aside from that, there's your numbering. Even aside from that, there's just an unusual amount of them in that one product. But you know, there are products like that. There are some that you can just almost every year when you get it, you can think, oh, there are going to be a lot of Yankees in there. And then there are a lot of Yankees. Or that Yankees was just an example. But there definitely are some products that are, seems like are more heavily weighted towards one team or another than others are. Which, of course, we should be able to figure out by looking at the checklists, but I don't know that you can always figure it out that way. When they're numbered, you can, but on unnumbered autographs, when you don't really know how many of them there are for any given person or any given card, then it's hard to predict, oh yeah, that should have a zillion of XYZ team in it. That is numbered to 100. You know, I wonder if another reason that a lot of the top stuff has been pushed back, because, of course, their stuff is on-card autographs most of the time with tops. There are very few stickers involved there. And I believe that they travel around and get a lot of those, particularly in the spring training season and that sort of thing. That one was to 149 for Brendan McKay, which of course got cut short this year. And then obviously they can't be running around getting this stuff signed right now. So I also wonder if that's part of the reason that Topps has pushed their stuff that just says TBD, because Panini's pushed it but has given it dates, and you can kind of tell from looking at Panini's calendar that their idea is, hey, once this thing is over with, we're going to go into overdrive and you're going to get a zillion and one products in a really short period of time. Whereas Topps seems to be more like, we're going to have to see what happens. That wasn't numbered. I thought it was. So I wonder if that's part of it. If maybe they just don't have all their stuff even signed because a lot of their things didn't take place. A nice one coming for the Blue Jays, a Bo Bichette, little BB rookie. I like Bichette. I think that's a nice hit. For the Blue Jays. We've got our relic coming here. And it's Miguel Cabrera coming out for the Tigers, numbered down there on that lower right corner to 99. So Detroit with the Miguel Cabrera relic. Yamamoto in the Miami Marlins. We've seen a lot of Yamamoto this year too, actually, in various products. Seems like he comes out quite often. We've got one box left, so we are officially at the last box mojo point of the night, where we're going to collectively work our mojo efforts here and hope that it will turn up something spectacular for us in the last box. We hope so anyway. So here's how it will work. We will, of course, finish looking through all the cards here in this last box. After we do that, we're going to deal with our housekeeping pile, which is all those Team USA cards up there. And random.org will give us an assist to help us figure out where those are going to go. After we deal with our housekeeping issues, we will then come back and recap our autograph and relic kits, and probably our cards that are reasonably low numbered. We'll do a quick little flip through them. I think for the most part, the ones that are numbered around 100 or lower, I've stacked separately. Some of them I may have mixed in with a higher card count, but I think the vast majority I did remember to stack separately, so we can also recap that at the end. And then, of course, after we do all of that, I will once again put up the spreadsheet information showing you your anticipated shipping date. And we will take another look at what is coming up in the days ahead as far as our breaks. So all of that stuff will happen after we finish looking through this last box. Ron, we do need to get you some Cardinals love, don't we? Cardinals and the A's both. You guys were kind enough to pick them up from the unpaid team list. And we need to find you something in here to have the mojo repay you, don't we? So here's hoping, guys. We'll do our best. A little Buster Posey. Wonder if some guys like Buster Posey who are so close to, well, there's an Oakland A parallel anyway with Chris Davis, numbered to 650 though. But I wonder if guys like Buster Posey who were close to retiring anyway, and you know, he's had some health issues with his, was it his knees? I want to say it was his knees, but anyway, he's had some issues. And you wonder if guys like that, if they'll just say, never mind, I'm not coming back. I was close anyway. I was close to retiring anyway. Yordan Alvarez. There's a nice little hit for the Houston Astros. So Last Box Mojo brings us a good one with Yordan Alvarez. Then the Bo Bichette earlier. Those are our two hot rookies at the moment. So found them both tonight. Not too bad at all. Eduardo Rodriguez, numbered to 100. Of course, that doesn't help Ron and Mike. I know. They're like, oh, man, there goes one of our chances in the last box. I know, but that was a nice hit. I am glad we hit it, but maybe we'll find the next two for you guys. That would be nice if we could. I will do my best anyway. That was for my Cincinnati Reds with Castillo. Was to 489 or 499. I couldn't tell exactly which of the two. There's a Polar Bear Pete Alonso insert, but to 999. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. I told you guys this was a long break, didn't I? I tried to warn you. It seems like it hasn't been as bad tonight. We were off to a slow start getting a home for those two teams. But once we did that, I think we've made reasonably good time, honestly. I mean, not super speedy and not super slow. Hey, yay. Hey, there you go for the Mets. How about a whammy case hit? Last Box Mojo definitely delivered. We got Yordan Alvarez autograph for the Astros, and we got a whammy case hit for Pete Alonso and the Mets. So once again, Last Box Mojo delivering, bringing it home big for the last box. I like the way that happened. Here comes a Mookie Betts. Probably relic for the Red Sox. Yes, relic for Mookie Betts. Eric, you like your case hit. Aha. Yeah, I thought you might like that one. I just had already given up thinking, oh, we're not going to see the case hit in this half of the case then. But then, boom, there it was. Eddie Clarence Murray. And it is turned around backwards, but it's not autographed. So I don't know. Maybe it's a short print. We're going to go ahead and sleeve it in case it is for the Orioles. Because usually with Panini, if they're turned around backwards, it's a variant or a case hit or something of some sort. Danny Mendick. And dear old Danny there is another one that's headed to Betsy and her Chicago White Sox. Was that our third out of here, or do we have one more to find? Was that our third hit out of this last box? I can't even remember now what we have hit. It might have been. And there's an, oh, that's a nice Joe Adell, as a matter of fact, a rated rookie. Joe Adell, Angels to 25. So that's nice to find as well. Last box definitely was worth waiting for tonight. A lot of nice stuff came out of Last Box Mojo tonight. All right, so we do have our housekeeping that we need to be dealing with before we recap a few things. So let's go ahead and get this up here. So once again, this is all USA Baseball. We have our prospects on the front, on the back of the card, which we know is the back of the card. Yeah, because it's got the logo and the copyright and all that fun stuff. So on the back of the card is our veteran player, which could either be a current player or it could be a retired player. So we've got to do two things. We're first going to go to random and determine whether the card goes to the veteran player or if the card goes to the retired player, which we're just going to do by front and back. And of course, if it goes to the this guy, the prospect, then we'll have to use random again, and one team will get that whole group of cards since those prospects are not signed with teams. If it comes up to the veteran player side of the card, then obviously it's going to go to the player that is on the back of their card in their current team or their team they played for the longest if they happen to be retired. So we got to roll over here to random.org and get a little something done there. And I do random the same way every time. So when I have 10 or more items in a list, I do it once. When I have 9 and fewer, I do it 3 times. Only the third random counts. Obviously, we've got less than 10 in here, so we will be doing random 3 times. The third one will be the determining factor. Well, I keep hitting the wrong thing, don't I? Ay, ay, ay. Trying to type one-handed is not going awfully well. I know there's a typo in there. I'm going to leave it. All right, so we're ignoring the first one. We are ignoring the second one. Here comes our third and final. There you see 3 times our date and time stamp. It goes to the back or the veteran side of the card. So that means Walker Buehler to the Dodgers, Adley Rutschman to the Orioles, Noah Song, Red Sox, Chris Bryant, Cubs, Forrest Whitley, Astros, Bobby Witt Jr., Royals, Alec Bohm for the Phillies, Verlander for the Astros, Noah Song again for the Red Sox, and Chipper Jones to the Braves. So that's how each of those cards have been awarded once again to the veteran player on the back of the card is what dear old random gave us that time. Now this is our little stack of cards that I set aside that for the most part are going to be numbered to 100 or lower. Now I may have accidentally stacked a few of these somewhere else, and if I did, don't worry. If it doesn't get recapped, if you saw it go through earlier, of course you're going to get it. All the cards, if it belongs to you, I should say. All the cards do ship in here. So numbered to 25, that's a Joe Adell for the Angels. And we have Red Sox to 100, numbered to 100 for the Brewers. And this one is numbered to 50 for the White Sox, numbered to 50 for the Cincinnati Reds. I think that said 50. Numbered to 75, the Padres. To 100, the Reds. I put these contenders in here. They're not numbered, but again, they only come out usually a couple every half case. So that one for the Astros. Buster Posey to 75 for the Giants. And then Cabrera here is numbered to 100 for the Tigers. There's another contenders. This one's for the Red Sox. This is a press proof Brian Anderson for the Marlins. It is numbered to 10. And then numbered to 100, Willie Calhoun for the Rangers, followed by this little card right here, numbered to 100 of Lance Lynn, also goes to the Texas Rangers. Numbered to 105, J.D. Martinez and the Red Sox. This is Nolan Ryan to 75 as an Astro. You see that little HOU down there? That's what that means. Giolito, White Sox, numbered to, I believe that says 19. Jose Abreu, numbered to 25 for the White Sox. Numbered to 100, the Baltimore Orioles. Here comes Bo Bichette, numbered to 249 for the Blue Jays. I probably just put him in there because it was Bichette, but normally we don't recap ones that are quite that high. Jose Canseco, numbered to 86. And that, of course, is the Oakland A's. Now our autograph and relic hits. We've got Solak for the Rangers, Mendick for the White Sox, Betts for the Red Sox, a case hit whammy Pete Alonso for the Mets, Houston Astros with Yordan Alvarez, Yamamoto for the Marlins, Miguel Cabrera for the Tigers with a relic numbered to 99. There's your Bo Bichette autograph for the Blue Jays. Ken Griffey Jr. relic, Cincinnati Reds. Followed by a Brian Abreu for the Astros. Alzolay for the Cubbies. A Mike Piazza relic numbered to 99 for the Dodgers. Hernandez for the Rangers. Cease for the White Sox. Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks. And then we've got this. This is a buyback card, the Recollection Collection. These don't come out super often. So this is a 1987 Donruss card, and they've updated by having him add his signature. And then, of course, they've added the stamp and they've added the numbering. It's 5 of 5. And Palmeiro for the Cubbies. There are some, wear issues. This card's been floating around since 1987, so there are some edge and corner issues, including some chipping, maybe a little rounding, but it's still a very nice hit, fun hit. For the Braves, Ozzie Albies with a relic, Tony Gwynn relic for the Padres. We have an autograph for the Royals with Mondesi. A relic numbered to 99 for Chris Bryant and the Cubbies. Brock Burke for the Rangers. I really didn't realize the Rangers hit so many till we're recapping it. Brendan McKay for the Tampa Bay Rays. Giancarlo Stanton relic for the Yankees. And then that sweet little Cody Bellinger hit right there for the Dodgers. So there you go. There's our break. There's our recap. As promised, I am going to put up some spreadsheet information again. So if you have, if you're watching this on tape delay and you've scrolled to the very end and you want to know when you can expect your item to ship, or if you're watching live and you missed this earlier, here's the info. All the cards do ship out of this break. Every team absolutely pulled cards in here, so we do not have to even give a second thought to any sort of consolation cards, because everybody's got a bunch of cards coming. Now, what does matter is when is it going to ship? When's it going to be on the way to you? So as it stands right now, I'm projecting it to go out the door approximately Wednesday. Now, as always, something can go a little earlier. Sometimes things go a little later. Right now, everything is a bit unpredictable for all of us. I will do my best to get it out on or before the date that you see there, but sometimes there are variables that will intervene that could change that date. So I would ask you to please just be patient and understand that if it doesn't go on that exact date, that it might go the following day, or hopefully it would go earlier. But anyway, that's what we're looking at there. And as far as the days ahead, so tomorrow night and Sunday night are both off nights. On Monday, we're going to open a case of TriStar Game Day Greats autographed football jerseys. There are 5 of them in a case. A half case of Leaf Best of Basketball, a half case of Leaf Ultimate Draft Football. Those are in each case for the Leaf, loose boxes from a shared case, meaning I got half and someone else got the other half. On Tuesday night, we will open Impeccable Basketball and National Treasures Football, both by the full case. On Wednesday night, it will be Gypsy Queen, and it is actually going to be the start of a new case, even though the number is an even number, which would generally indicate the back of a case the way I number. In this instance, it is the start of a new case there for Gypsy Queen. So that, I guess, has got me covered for tonight. So as always, I thank you for being here. Appreciate you spending part of your Friday evening with me. I hope that you have a nice weekend ahead. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay indoors. Come see me again on Monday night when we're back at it, or if not, then sometime soon. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you Monday. Bye now.